Hi everyone, welcome back and happy Midsummer! Glad Midsommar! And today we're of course celebrating that it's Midsummer's Eve. I'm guessing there's a lot of you that might be looking at me now thinking about cults and horror films, but I can assure you Midsummer is way from that. It's usually a really happy celebration. You meet up with friends and family, have really lovely food, you drink akvavit of course, you have lovely strawberries or strawberry cake. Sometimes you play kub, which is this really fun outdoor game. And of course, if you're lucky enough to be close to water, you can also go for a little dip. I of course don't have the possibility to be in Sweden this year. I really hope I'll be able to go back soon to see all my friends and family. And of course, I really hope one day that I'll be able to work with perhaps my brand and a bit more freelance, so I can split my time more between Scotland and Sweden. Because I'm not willing to give up Scotland, but I also miss Sweden a lot, especially my friends that I never have time to see. But in the meantime, I of course have a Swedish whiskey here in front of me that I can enjoy as a little bit of a reminder of home. And I want to say a massive thank you to my supporters on Patreon who helped me choose the colour of my flowers today, and they also helped me choose what Mackmyra to do. And of course, if you voted for this one, then great, you're gonna get that review today. But if you voted for the other one, fear not, I will of course do that one soon as well. But the one we're trying today is Mackmyra Fjällmark. Fjällmark means mountain ground, I guess. If you go up to the mountainous area kind of up north, that's a fjäll, which is kind of the mountains. And mark is ground, so I guess mountain ground. So this whiskey is at 42% ABV and it's been matured on a few different casks. It's been matured on American oak, on Oloroso and PX casks, as well as Cloudberry wine casks. I'm gonna put up a photo of cloudberries up here so you can all see what they look like. They're an Arctic berry and they have this kind of weird taste. If you've never had them, what I could recommend to everyone is to buy a jar of Cloudberry jam at IKEA. They have it and it's really lovely if you have it on waffles or you have it with perhaps your meatballs. They have this kind of sour taste and they're quite nature. It's really difficult to explain, but they're really nice. And of course, that's the cask they used for this whiskey, which it of course intrigues me. Anything where you can involve Swedish culture just makes me so fascinated. And what I would love to see in the future is something with like maybe a lingonberry wine cask. That would be absolutely amazing. So of course, this is from Sweden's oldest distillery, Mackmyra, which has celebrated 20 years last year because it opened in 1999. And all the different whiskies that went into this whiskey is between 8 and 13 years old. And if you're ever in Sweden, I could definitely recommend going for a trip to the Mackmyra distillery. They have a gravity distillery, meaning that you kind of get all the raw material up to the top and then you kind of work its way down when you use the gravity as a help or an assistance to kind of get everything going. And it's actually just an hour away by train from Stockholm, so if you're ever in the capital and you just want to maybe go for the day and see some whiskey, then I could definitely recommend going there. What we did when we went to see the distillery, and of course if you want to read more about that, I'll put the link in the description. We went for an overnight stay, so we took the train up from Stockholm and then we stayed the night at a hotel, but we also borrowed bicycles from the hotel and rode our bikes to the distillery. It wasn't far at all, very convenient. But of course we're gonna have a little taste of this. Let's start with the nose. The first thing that hits me is this kind of nature vibe. And quite sweet, almost makes me think of juniper. It's like a sweetness that could be like a little bit chocolatey or like desserty. Almost like strawberry cheesecake. Because it has kind of fresh notes you get from for example, Philadelphia cheese or some kind of soft cheese. They have this kind of fresh smells like, there's a place in Dalarna where I was born, where you go on this really lovely path through the forest, and then you get to this little place. It's almost like a peninsula, and then you sit there and you usually bring your food along and you make a bonfire or just whatever you want, and this smells like that walk through the forest. Just smells a little bit damp, a little bit pine, a little bit forest. Yeah, it definitely makes me think of home, which I think is absolutely lovely, especially in times like these. Also that sweetness. It's a very yummy whiskey, I think. It's probably one of my favourite Mackmyras, along with Eva and Brooks, I think are my top ones. I don't really want to say that because I'm not sure. I really like them all. I would of course love to hear if you have tried any Mackmyras or any other Swedish whiskies, because there are a lot of Swedish whiskies that are absolutely phenomenal, and I'd love to try them soon as well. If you're considering buying any bottles, I would of course be absolutely over the moon if you consider using my affiliate links to Master of Malt and the Whiskey Exchange. I've put all that information in the description below, as well as links to my Patreon, my Instagram and my website if you're curious about that. Of course, as usual, a massive thank you to my wonderful supporters on Patreon. You guys are amazing, and thank you for helping me choose this wonderful whiskey to review today and the colour of my flowers. That is very much appreciated because I'm terrible at making decisions. And if you want to see a review of Eva, I will of course try and do one very soon as well. But I hope you've all had an absolutely wonderful day. Och hoppas ni alla har en jättefin midsommar, och hoppas verkligen jag kan komma och besöka Sverige snart igen. Glad midsommar, slange